What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's Black Series Talk Show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
What's up, guys?
And today it's time for another Black Series retrospective episode. Today we are covering Wave 9 of the Black Series, which is the final wave of the Blue Line.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. to the Blue Line. We're still in 2015 here. This is right before the transfer over to the dreaded red and black box line.
Please don't make me do those episodes.
Let us know if you'd like to see us continue this series into the red and black box line, because for now I think we'll probably be taking a break from this series.
Yeah, unless you want to go maximum turbo depression mode, then we'll continue it. We probably will continue it
At some
because
point.
it'll still be fun to make.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are all still retailing for $19.99. And yeah, it's end of an era, honestly. The orange and the blue line are both nostalgic. I think enough time has passed where I'm like, it's a little nostalgic. I think this packaging will be like the closest thing I'll have to having nostalgia for packaging, you know, years and years from now. Like how people feel about Kenner or something like that, because packaging doesn't matter to me.
Right.
So
when they do new Star Wars 6-inch figures that aren't called the Black Series, but they put them in Black Series packaging to tug at our heartstrings, that'll be the day.
And then some young, like, Gen Z versions of us will be like, Black Series crowd, this one's for you. Put it in the Black Series packaging. They'll buy it. And I'll go,
That's literally going to be us in probably 20, 30 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But yes, we've got another wave to go over. We've got 3 figures this time around in this wave, and then, of course, 1 deluxe set as well. So this wave is the following figures. We have Clone Commander Cody, IG-88, and Bouch Leia.
Pretty solid character selection. We got a clone in there. This is the 4th or 5th clone trooper on that body so far.
Yeah.
Clone Commander Cody, pretty good selection. We could just jump into Cody first.
Yeah.
I always thought he was good until we got a new clone body.
Yeah, this one is just like all the other clones, where even to this day, you know, it's still a good looking figure. It might not have good articulation. It might actually have terrible articulation.
And it does have some gummy legs as well.
It does. But overall, for the most part, I still think Commander Cody looks really solid, especially on the shelf with the other 212s. With Obi-Wan, you're like, yeah, this is just a good looking figure. But they did sculpt some new bits for the helmet, because of course he's got like the little visor piece, and so
And there's like a antenna thing on his shoulder, and then the backpack sort of jetpack looking thing on the back.
so he does have a couple new pieces to him.
Yeah, and for being a 2015 figure, it looks like you plucked him right out of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, they definitely did a pretty good job with it. This figure did get an archive release, which was good for the time, because this used to be one of the most expensive Black Series figures, period.
True.
Usually going for triple digits easy.
Oh, yeah.
But thankfully, with the archive release, it has been devalued pretty significantly. You can get the blue line version of this figure for around $40.
True.
But of course, if you're not really interested in the packaging, you know, you could pick up Clone Commander Cody Archive Edition for like $10-15.
Yeah, 20 at the most, honestly. Something to note about the orange line versus the blue line real quick. The orange line is significantly more expensive. The blue line, the most expensive one I think is Bosk, which is just over $50.
Right.
Value from actionfigure411.com, of course. But blue line, very, very cheap. Honestly, kind of crazy how expensive orange is compared to blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Cody is a solid figure for the time. Of course, I would love a new Cody with excellent articulation.
Especially with that new 2023 clone body on the horizon. Give us a Cody on that. You know, include the little Execute Order 66 puck thing, and also give us that removable helmet.
Oh, yeah.
I think every collector that has the old Commander Cody would absolutely buy a new Cody if they made those changes to it. This next figure, though, Justin, is an absolute stinker. Now, we used to defend this back in the day. IG-88, again, not a horrible looking figure. It looks like IG-88.
True.
When you look at it, you're like, oh, that's IG-88. But then you get into the other problems with the figure. You know, the fairly limited articulation, the severe underscaling because they went off of those pictures where you don't see IG-88's feet.
Right.
In comparison to the rest of the bounty hunters, so they scaled him accordingly to that. Even though, if you look closely at that photo, you can see it doesn't account for his feet or pretty much the lower half of his leg.
Right.
Because IG-88 is a pretty large droid, so this one also suffers from it literally deteriorates. Your IG-88,
there's like these little rubber rings that are on the joints at the elbow, and I think there's a couple on the legs as well. And on mine, some of these have just disappeared and withered away because it's rubber. And that's what happens over time. So they crack, they come off, they deteriorate. It sucks.
Yeah.
We have done a blunder episode of our Black Series Bangers and Blunders series on IG-11, and we pretty much have all the same complaints for 88. I think there's a lot of cool sculpted details.
Yeah.
I think the paint is great.
Definitely.
There's actually a variation on IG. There's like a more metallic one.
Yeah, the archive release has a pretty significantly different paint scheme.
Yes.
But the blue line version, I think, still looks pretty good. He comes with the axe weapon, and he really can't hold it properly. Like they got the little peg system that I guess you could plug it into, but I would assume he'd hold it in his hand, like, actually grip it like a normal weapon. But you can't do that. I mean, technically, he can't hold any of the weapons because they all have to be pegged into the wrist, which at least they did something so that he could still hold the weapons. But
there's a lot of like tubes and pipes that just hinder the articulation and risk breaking.
Yeah, and he also has those awful hips where you can only make the legs go forward or backwards. They can't go out or to the sides. So really limited for the time, and usually they do a great job with the droids. So
yeah, visually looks good, but way too many problems.
Yeah, definitely.
With the figure.
This is one that absolutely needs a brand new figure, period. And I think a lot of collectors would be interested in a brand new version of IG-88.
And finally, we have Princess Leia Organa Boushh.
Ooh.
The bounty hunter disguise. This was a cool one. I actually got the original release of this back in the day because I found it at a local shop, and I was like, hey, here it is. Comes with the staff thingy and a thermal detonator.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. The removable helmet and the head sculpt underneath is nightmarish quality.
Yeah, she looks like a weird porcelain doll, like possessed Leia.
It truly is terrifying. I think it's really bad. This figure did get an archive release. All three of these did get archive releases. And side note about the archive release of Boushh Leia, it's one of the few instances of new tooling on archive. They actually messed around with the legs to shorten the height of the figure, which is cool because this blue line release is too tall.
Yeah, she's literally gigantic. Like the original blue line version is like taller than Han Solo.
Yeah, which, I never really cared that it was too tall, but I did pick up the archive. It's just a cool figure to have standing next to Jabba and the Gamorrean guards and Skiff Guard Lando. It's just a good filler.
Yeah, I mean, Boushh Leia it's an iconic costume. It's a really great moment in the movie. I always wondered as a little kid, I'm like, was Leia, was she doing bounty hunting in between these movies? Right. But then you find out, Boushh is, a different character that she takes the outfit from, and there's all sorts of stuff. It's probably not even canon anymore, but...
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows at this point, but it's one of my favorite Leia looks. I think it's a great-looking figure, really nice details. Put that thermal detonator on her belt, because one One false shelf dive.
Yep.
That thing is gone forever. It is so tiny.
Right. But yeah, I'm glad to have it. I would consider this a pretty good figure, even the 2015 version, because just stick the helmet on.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. We also got a deluxe set. This is the last of the deluxe sets. There were no deluxe sets in 2016 until the Centerpiece subline.
Which are those even really?
I believe those were launched in 2017. Because, like, Action Figure 4-in-1, they consider those under deluxe sets. So,
But it's like, are those really Black Series? Because they're not articulated.
there will probably be an entire episode dedicated to centerpieces.
Yeah, they are interesting. It kind of falls under the Black Series anomaly, like subcategory that we always like to talk about, where it's just like these really weird experimental things that they did that
The Dorito stand.
Yeah, that never worked out, or like those early Last Jedi deluxe figures that had like the premium paint apps and the soft goods.
And the metal.
Right.
Yeah. But this deluxe set in particular is Luke Skywalker and the Wampa from Empire Strikes Back. Wampa great, Luke bad.
Yes. The Wampa is awesome. It's one that I wish I had. I do have the updated version, but as we all know, they actually censored the Wampa figure and they removed the blood that was originally on the figure, which is something that I really think was silly, unnecessary, because it was a Comic-Con exclusive set. It's not something that, even if you wanted to say, well, the kids, think of the children.
I think it may have been a Kenner thing, because it's a Kenner-inspired package.
You might be right. I don't care, though. I wanted that blood on the Wampa. However,
I want the blood.
I am not going to pay the $86 that this set currently goes for on the aftermarket just to get the Wampa, especially when I already have one.
Yeah. There's also a gimmick with the arm. It comes off and it's red.
Yeah.
And Luke cuts off the arm.
Right. So the one arm has a normal ball joint. You can get all the movement you want, but the arm that's removable, you just get forward and back, which, neat gimmick, but who is displaying the Wampa without its arm on? I really would. Yeah, I'd love to know.
I mean, there's that cool shot from Fig Fury, which we'll show right here. But then we also got the Luke Skywalker, which I've always liked this design of Luke, but the figure just looks so weird. There's also some blood detail on the face, which they did get rid of that in the archive.
Yeah, and
because this figure did get archived as well.
And honestly, I think the original version kind of looks better than the
archive.
Made his
eyes like super blue.
Like his entire eyeball is blue with like a little bit of white. So he looks like a blue-eyed demon.
I'm glad that I have it because I love the Wampa, and it's nice to have at least this look of Luke post car crash Mark Hamill Luke, so they had to make something up to have his face messed up like that. It's all right.
Yeah, and this is also just like the Han Solo, which I don't think we mentioned this when we talked about the Han Solo with the Tauntaun set, but no wrist articulation on Han or Luke. Remember, the wrist is fully locked, but you get a swivel kind of at the forearm, and that's it.
I don't think I even knew that because I haven't messed around with this figure in ages.
Yeah, it's a really random, weird design. I'm not sure why they did that or what they were trying to do with it, but because of that, I also wouldn't mind if they just gave us a fully brand new Hoth Luke.
Yeah,
because
I'm down.
He kind of needs it. He kind of needs it. This set is too expensive. The archive version looks horrible, so I'd be down.
But it's Black Series, so that means it's definitive. So we can't do it unless Hoth Luke shows up in a flashback in a Disney Plus series.
Right.
Then they can do an all-new sculpt for him.
Yeah, definitely. Which is just a silly mentality to have because Star Wars is forever. Star Wars is all sagas. It's all the movies. It's all the shows. It's not just the Disney Plus stuff. The fans want everything from all sagas, even sequel trilogy. People deserve brand new, nicely detailed figures. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. This set is pretty awesome, though. I would definitely say, you know, if I didn't have the Wampa, I'd probably be tempted to pick it up just to have the bloody Wampa. And, you know, Luke's fine. Like, I have my Wampa holding Luke upside down, and, it, you know, I like it. And I guess I could paint the blood on it myself, but I don't want to do that.
It's all right. Just like all of the orange and blue line, you know, it's all right.
Yeah.
And it gets even worse.
Yeah, it does.
It gets even worse.
But I do miss having creatures, though. Like big creatures. This was one of the last times that we got a big, you know, bigger creature.
$39.99 it retailed for, guys.
Yep.
$39.99. That's insane.
Yep. That's a pickup all day long these days, especially with today's pricing.
Yeah.
That is an absolute steal of a deal. But just like all the other deluxe sets, you know, it kind of peg warmed for a really long time. And for a long time, it was pretty easy to get, pretty affordable, but I just slept on it for a little bit too long. And then one day I looked at the Amazon listing and I went, oh, I guess I'm not getting that anymore.
Right.
So that's pretty much all we've got for you today on this episode of Figure It Out. The orange and blue line are done. We are closing the chapter on the first iteration of Black Series packaging. Going forward, of course, they switch over to the red and black box line, which probably overstayed its welcome because it was the
112 figures.
Yeah, it was the packaging that we knew for so long, but you know, I feel like the red and black box kind of lost a little bit of its identity. You know, it wasn't quite as exciting, even though they're coming for us. Even though the orange and blue line are simplistic packaging, just something about it is just so nice, so elegant, and I just don't think that
it's like high end.
Yeah, it's like the red and black box didn't have it. Although I do love the Gregory Titus artwork.
True.
That is easily, hands down, the best part of the red and black box figure line. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. We're always talking Star Wars The Black Series here on the channel. As a reminder, you could have been watching this video a whole lot earlier if you are in a position to help support the channel. At the Basement Battalion membership level, you get early access to Figure It Out and early access to any video I feel like putting on members only mode. So there are links for everything in the description down below of this video. Make sure you check out the Discord as well. It's a great place to get connected with the community. And of course, big shout out, special thank you to all of our current channel members. Your continued support is truly appreciated. And thank you to everyone else out there for watching. I'm Nate. I've been joined with Justin.
See you guys later.
And we will see you all next time on Out of the Basement.
There's too much stuff on this desk.
Today we are covering Wave 9 of the Blue Line. This is the final Blue Line wave.
You said Wave 9 of the Blue Line. It's technically Wave 9 of just the entire Black Series.
God damn it, Justin.
Well,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Figure It Out of the Basement's Black Series talk show. I'm Nate, joined with Justin.
And I was about to say see you guys later.
What is going on?